Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. To all our registered online viewers, good afternoon. I hope that as you receive my lecture today, you are in the pink of health. I would like to welcome all of you in this webinar series on teaching and learning in the digital age. My name is Dr. Helmer Montejo. I am the Research Director and at the same time the Associate Dean of Talisay City College, a locally funded college in Talisay City, Cebu. I am also an active member of APCOR, or the Asia Pacific Consortium of Researchers and Educators, and at the same time, I am one of the many advisors of GenTEFL, or the Global Educators Network, Teachers of English as a Foreign Language, which is based in Thailand. So this afternoon, I will be discussing with you virtual platforms in education as part of the new normal in schools. I will be navigating you to different questions that we need to answer as I go along with my discussion. Number one is, are we going to go fully digital? Is it the call of the time? Is it necessary? Number two, what are the advantages and disadvantages of going fully digital? Number three, I will be discussing with you the results of our survey among students on their readiness in distance learning during the general community quarantine. And number four, we will be discussing the challenges and struggles of teachers who are teaching remotely in different cities across the Philippines. So, before we're going to go digital or virtual, we need to actually consider key factors. Number one, we need to consider our curriculum. We need to see to it that our curriculum is still functioning, that our curriculum is still working, or is there a need for us to revisit our curriculum and do something with it? Number two, we need to check our syllabus or syllabi. Now, our syllabus and syllabi is very useful, especially in online teaching, because in online teaching, you will not use everything found in the syllabus because that is too comprehensive and lengthy. All you need to do is to pick the most essential learning competencies and apply it in your online teaching. Now, we also need to check if our students are having needs in this time and age. There could be a marrying of the old and new so that we can come up with something nice and effective in the new normal. And number four, we need to check the availability of our resources. Why? Because even if how digital we are in thinking, even if how good we are in planning, if we don't have the resources, then everything will just go into wastes. So these are the different platforms that I'm going to discuss with you today. Number one is the Microsoft Teams. Now, Microsoft Teams is where real online classroom happens. In Microsoft, you can do synchronous learning. The Microsoft 365 is very useful in doing synchronous learning where students will learn all together all at the same time. And this application is not for free, just like Zoom. But when we talk about its privacy, I think it is very safe to use Microsoft Teams. Another platform is Moxtra. You know, if you're a teacher and you are requiring your students to submit projects and assignments online, Moxtra is actually a very good application. Through Moxtra, you can actually create folders and organize your documents. And the good thing about Moxtra is you can meet and call your students. And the most important thing, it is user-friendly. So even if you are not so techy, you can still use Moxtra with ease because it is user-friendly. Another platform is Quizlet. So Quizlet is actually gamification. When you say gamification, you are able to create activities and games, and you are able to create sets. And in the set are flashcards. And those flashcards can be used in learning, in writing, in spelling, in testing, and in playing games. And if you want to increase your vocabulary, Quizlet is one good platform to use. Now, Quizlet is not only for teachers, it is also for students. And that makes Quizlet more advantageous. Number one, it prompts students to create his or her own sets. Number two, it will, or you can take ownership of your Quizlet. And you can take ownership of your own study. Therefore, it is encouraging independent learning. And the good thing about Quizlet is whatever my work is, I can share it with my peers or friends for peer review. Whatever your work is, you can share it with us for peer review. That is the good thing about Quizlet. So, if you're a teacher, especially if you're an ESL teacher, you're teaching Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese, all you need to do is to actually apply or use Quizlet, because Quizlet is very, very engaging. It will actually entice and make students more comfortable with you. Why? Because it is very engaging. Now, another platform is what we call Moodle. Moodle is actually a free open resource LMS, and it provides an integrated system. Now, through Moodle, students can access online, and through Moodle, you can actually do remote teaching, and Moodle is really good for remote teaching, especially if you are doing asynchronous teaching. Moodle is one good platform. And Moodle is an all-in-one learning platform. And it is highly flexible, and it is very customizable. Okay, that's Moodle. And it can be used on any device. You know, some platforms are only for iOS. Some platforms are for Android. But for Moodle, it can be used to any device. Now, another is what we call Educaplay. Educaplay is where you can create activities for your students online. And you can actually create video quizzes in Educaplay. And Educaplay has its own online community for teachers. Now, this is a very good avenue for exchanging notes, exchanging thoughts and ideas, and at the same time, it is very engaging. That's the good thing about Educaplay. Another platform is the Kahoot. So, Kahoot is actually free for basic, but if you want to have more features, of course, you will be charged, and I think it's around $15. And when you use Kahoot, you need to register together with your institution, because your institution is involved when you use Kahoot. Now, another platform is Flipgrid. When you say Flipgrid, it allows teachers to create grid for discussions. And students can also create their videos and can post their responses. You know, they can always post their responses through Flipgrid. Now another platform is Mentimeter. Mentimeter is actually easy to use presentation platform. And Mentimeter is fun and interactive. Okay, it's fun and interactive. And the good thing here is that it is also for free. And you can use this with your students. You can use this with your pupils. But the only setback is, as you want more features to be in your Mentimeter, you will pay. Okay, because yes, there are some things that are free, but if you want to have more features, you need to pay. Now, another platform is what we call Google Classroom. I think you are familiar with this because everyone is saying this, Google Classroom. It creates, or you can create sheets, you can create documents, and you can create slides. And you can have Google Meet. Google Meet is one of the features of Google Classroom. You can even have your tour creator, wherein you can have virtual reality or expedition. So that's a good thing about Google Classroom. And one of the most famous platforms used in Japan is Edmodo. Edmodo is actually an educational technology company. It is used for personal learning materials, and it is used for communication and collaboration among teachers, between teachers and students. And this is good for higher education institutions. So from K-12 to HEI, Edmodo is very useful. Edmodo is actually allowing teachers to share, to share content, to share discussion, to distribute quizzes, assignments, and projects as well. And the good thing is, this thing, Edmodo, is used also for coaching and mentoring because it has a coaching and mentoring, it is a coaching and mentoring platform. Now, one good thing about platforms is that you can do almost everything. Like for example, taking down notes. So in taking down notes, Notability, Evernote, Canva, or Microsoft Forms are very useful. For Notability, students can actually take notes. Students can scribble, but not elaborate. This is only for independent learners. And through Notability, you can also record your voice. And at the same time, you can practice pronunciation, but this application is only for iOS. Okay, now, Evernote is the same as Notability, but it is user-friendly. So it is easy to use. Evernote is easy to use. Canva, on the other hand, is for business, for marketing, for designs, for posters and banners. So for example, if you are going to create posters, you can actually use Canva. It can help you to come up with a very creative, very nice poster. Okay, so these are actually platforms that we can use in our classes. But the question is it okay to go fully digital? Now, my answer for that is no. Why? Because, of course, you need to base everything on research. Based on our research, we actually surveyed 2,273 respondents. And these respondents are our students. We actually check on their readiness in distance learning, and this is the result. 90.3% of our students use their smartphones as their primary device for distance learning. So when you say cell phones or smartphones, it is commonly used among young teens. So this result is not actually a surprise to all of us, because most students would opt to use smartphones than laptops or computers, because smartphones are handy, easy to handle, easy to use, and you can actually take it anywhere with you. Now, another result of the survey is that 70% of our respondents only have 1 to 5 Mbps, meaning to say the speed or the internet connection is quite slow. Now, 1 to 5 Mbps is only good for doing social media and some basic functions like browsing, but it is not enough to actually download or upload videos. It's too heavy, and at the same time, if you're going to record videos, it would be very difficult for you to upload. Why? Because of your 1 to 5 Mbps. Now, another result revealed that in accessing materials, students would opt to access it through Messenger or through Facebook. Why? Because even if you are just having your data, you can actually use your Messenger. And another result is that students are having a hard time accessing online because of their limited connectivity. That's why our school is actually utilizing the barangay drop-off. When you say barangay drop-off, our staff would go to the barangay and administer or give the test papers to the barangay, because students are advised to wait in the barangay. And then we will retrieve those papers after a week or so. Why? Because we want to include everybody. We want to include everybody because we don't want to be accused of exclusivity. In education, everything should be inclusive. So everyone should be involved. Everyone should have the chance to get educated, to have proper education, and so on. So that is actually the result of the survey. So what is our recommendation? We recommend that teachers should give more time for students to access online, and teachers should actually not give difficult activities. Like, for example, if they're going to view movies or if they're going to view links that are too heavy, then with the connection that they have, it's very difficult for them to actually access or see the link. And number 3 is that we need to actually upgrade, our system here in the school. So the question is going digital very necessary? I think you need to balance everything. You need to check also the capacity of your school, and you need to check also the capacity of your teachers and the capacity of your students. Okay. Now, teachers are encouraged to be more understanding and not imposing during this crisis. Why? Because you will be making things more complicated and uncomfortable if you will be imposing things to students with limited access. The reason why we should be more understanding and not imposing. Now, migrating from the traditional to the digital is not easy. Why? Because it involves money. It involves budget. Like if you are working in a school and if you want to have an online class, then there should be a strong connectivity. And you can only have that if you will invest. That's why It's too expensive. Now, even if it's too difficult to migrate from traditional to digital, you can always have the blended, meaning to say a mixture of everything so that everyone can be accommodated. That's the good thing about teaching and learning. And we have to remember also the famous quote of Robin Sharma. Okay, Robin Sharma said, he said, your I can is better than your IQ. So even if you have the knowledge in computers, even if you are digitized, but if you don't have the will that you can, then you cannot do it. I know that virtual platforms are sometimes tedious. They are not easy to use because some of them are not user-friendly, but our I can is better than our IQ. So I hope that you are learning something from me, and if you have questions, you can always ask me. You can always send your emails to me, and you can ask me any questions you want related to the topic or to any topic which you think I can be of help to you. So thank you so much for listening. God bless and good afternoon.